everyone. As of course the dog barks as soon as we get live. She's now leaving the room. So welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm really excited to have you back here and really excited. And I hope that you've done all of the prep work ready to go because your kitchen should smell amazing right now. So all of that garlic that's ready, all of that coriander that we've chopped up, those spices that we've got ready to go. So it is smelling amazing. And this is a really great way to do a green curry without actually having to go and buy a bottle of green curry paste. So, you know, this is one that I really wanted to be able to do with you to really give it that love of, you know, fresh and doing everything from scratch as well. So I'll just go through while we're waiting for some more to jump on. So I've got you to chop up your coriander, and the reason I said to chop it up including the roots was because we're going to grind all of this down to almost a paste. So we need to sort of get that coriander a little bit smaller to get it going through the machine properly and not wrapping around anything. We've got our onion, so have your onion chopped in half, your clove of garlic, a piece of ginger. We've also got in there the coriander. There's so many things in here, but honestly, it wasn't an expensive meal to make, even though we did everything from scratch, so which is always really nice. Your green chilli, so with your green chilli, if you don't want a really hot green curry, just remove the seeds, so it's not quite so hot. If you love it hot, then by all means keep the seeds in. Seeds are out here. We've also got in there the zest of a lime, and then we're going to use the juice of that lime at the end of the process. And I think that's about it to get started. So love to know where you're all tuning in from tonight, and you know what you're up to. I know that some of us are spending more time at home than some of us would like. I actually enjoy spending some extra time at home, so that's all good. I think I've cooked more in the last 4 weeks than I ever have, which is great though, because it means that I'm not having to go out for takeaways and, you know, dinners out. I can still make beautiful at home, you know, restaurant quality meals, even if I do say so myself, that at least my family's enjoying. So it's a really good time to be able to really, you know, put some love into what you're doing and what you're cooking if you've got the extra time to do it. So it's a couple of minutes in, so I think it's time to get started. So if you're just joining us, we're just going to get started by putting in our onion. Okay, so you might, if you want to start popping that in, so pop in your onion. So make sure your onion's just chopped in half. You've got a clove of garlic, so you can pop your garlic in. Pop in your ginger. Pop in the coriander. Now I did save a little bit of coriander to dress the green curry as well, because I do like coriander and I want that extra coriander on the top. If you've got coriander haters in the house, they're not going to know. It's like crushing up a vegetable that your children don't like, you know, bolognese mince, they'll never know. So, you know, if they would eat green curry normally, it's got coriander in it, so they can't complain. There's nothing they can say. Okay, so we've also got in there our veggie stock. So I did say that if you haven't made your own, which I always do, then you can use some stock cubes or powder, whatever it is that you usually use. I really do urge you to try making your own vegetable stock paste. It is amazing. It makes a huge amount and it will last for a really long time. So you can keep it in the fridge in a good airtight container for a good couple of months. If you're not going to use it that quickly, I do suggest you can also freeze it. Even though it doesn't completely freeze, that veggie stock will still freeze a little, but it'll make it last longer. Okay, so you can do that as well. So you've popped in there your green chilli. So I mentioned seeds, if you want it hot, take the seeds out if you don't, and the zest of our lime. So that's everything that's going in to get started. So I'm just going to pop all of that in. Now, my tip for this is you want to grind this into you want to spend the time making sure that this is nice and chopped, okay? So don't be rushed to do it. You know, spend that time scraping the sides down, and we'll go through that as we go. I think I've got everything. No, I didn't put in my stock. See, that's why I have a list in front of me, because there's quite a few things in this one. So pop in your stock there as well. The smell is amazing. Okay, so we'll get rid of that. Okay, so let me double check. Your onion, your garlic, your ginger, your coriander, your stock, your chili, and the zest of a lime. Okay, we're good. Let's go. So I'll pop all of that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into Expert. Now I could pulse this if I like for a little while, so I actually might start just by hitting the pulse button. The pulse button, as you know, just gives it that instant speed and quite a fast speed as well. So it just means it's going to start the process a lot quicker than turning the speed up. So let's get started by just using our pulse button. If you stop it every sort of 5 seconds, everything will fall down and then you can go again. So you might want to come in and have a look before I press this so that you can see what I mean when we're talking about the pulse button. Okay. I think my machine's asleep. Okay, so you see how that all flipped around? So stay there and we'll watch it. Okay. And I'll give it one more. Okay. So that is coming together beautifully. But I am going to now, if you want to have a look, we are going to scrape the sides down. Okay, and we want to make sure that we've got all of that beautifully chopped up. So if it takes you a few scrape downs and you know, restarts, then that's okay, because honestly it's worth spending the time. So you know, if it takes you a good sort of, you know, few minutes to do it, spend the time doing it so that you can make sure that we've got that beautifully lovingly chopped. Now what I'm going to do this time is, rather than go onto my, oh, let's scrape the top of that. Goodness gracious, there's lots of amazing flavours at the top there. Okay, so we'll scrape that all in. Beautiful. And we'll go again. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm actually just going to go along. So we'll hit auto so that we're just starting at 3. And then I'm going to slowly start to up my speed. Just to start trying to give that a really good brush there. If you come in and have a look, you can see that that's still going beautifully. I'm going to turn that up a little bit. I still see my piece of garlic flicking around in there, but I think it's chopped now. Okay, and we'll have another look. So let's have a look again. And again, it's coming together, but I just want it to go a little bit more chopped than that. But like I say, it does take a little bit of time just to get that beautiful texture that we want. But put the love into it, spend the time doing it, making sure that that's what we've done. Okay, beautiful. But I'm happy with how that's coming along. It's usually the coriander that's just that little bit trickier. Okay. It'll be worth it in the end, I promise you. Okay, so my tip 2 is when you're don't start at the highest speed. Always start at a lower speed, and then you can turn the speed up, which is a better idea. Okay, so we'll just turn that speed up again. Okay, so yeah, I'm happy with that now. Okay, so if you want to come and have a look, I'm going to go with that. If you want, again, like I said, if you want it to be even more chopped, then feel free to go ahead and keep going with it. But like I say, it is definitely worth spending the time getting it all beautifully together and nice. So I'll just scrape all of that out of there. I love how easy it is with a silicone spatula to scrape anything out. Okay, so there we have our first stage. So what I'm going to get you to do now is we're going to actually add in there our fish sauce and our oil. So I've got those two in together. So it was a tablespoon of fish sauce and a tablespoon of oil. So I'm going to pour that in. Beautiful. And then I'm also going to get you to pop in your ground cumin and ground coriander. Definite coriander overload tonight. I love it. Okay, so we're just going to sprinkle that in as well. Beautiful. And then we're going to get that cooking and we're going to cook it for 3 minutes, speed 3 at 110. So if you want to come in, I'm sure you all know how to use your control panel, but come in and have a look, and we're just going to get that back onto Expert, drop it down to 3 minutes. We're going to leave that on speed 3, and we're going to pop that on to 110 degrees. And go. Okay. So we'll let that go, and that's just going to give it that, you know, that beautiful smell that's going to start bringing everything together. I do like to take off the cap because I'm not wanting to, you know, steam this. I want it to actually fry off a little bit, and you'll start to see that steam come out and that beautiful smell coming along as well. So the next step, I've got to get my chicken. Because you can't make green chicken curry without the chicken. Okay, so I've got my chicken. And I've diced that all up. Now, you can, if you wanted to do this dish with like half chicken fillets, you can absolutely do that. Just, you don't need to worry about chopping them up as small as I am. But the reason that I did that, and also too with the sweet potato, is because I want it to cook that little bit quicker, being that it's a nice, easy, you know, it really is an easy weekday meal. So I actually did use our dicer that you can purchase separately with our food processor. But what I love about the dicer is I'm one of those kind of perfectionists. If I want to make vegetable soup, I want everything to be about the same size, shape. So that's really works really well for me. But if you did it by hand, that's not a problem either. Again, if you wanted to do larger pieces, by all means do that. It just means a longer cooking time. So it really just depends on the time that you've got and sort of what's going on in terms of that. So we'll just get that up and cooking. And I'm going to show you, I've got the food processor on display tonight because I want to show you a really cute trick that I learned that I couldn't believe it's taken me this long to learn. It was a trick that we got from France, so I'll leave that and I'll show you that in just a few minutes. So what we're going to do next is we're going to add in our chicken. So have your chicken all diced ready to go. We're going to add in our sweet potato, and then I'm going to add in the coconut cream. If your coconut cream is completely rock hard, just cream, you may want to add a little bit of liquid to this, and that's okay. Mine's sort of a little liquidy and sort of a little solid, so I'm just going to see how it goes before I decide whether I need to add any more liquid. But the last time I did it, I didn't need to, so it should be fine. We're then going to, kaffir lime leaves. I find these really hard to buy in a supermarket or a fruit and veg shop. Sometimes you can and sometimes you can't. So what I actually did, I saw them the other day. These just give that beautiful, beautiful extra flavour when you're cooking a meal like, you know, your curries. But the kaffir lime leaves, I found them in this, funnily enough, in Woolworths, in the little plastic container. And I actually just brought them home and I popped them all into a freezer in just a Ziploc bag. And I defrosted them today and they're absolutely perfect, okay? So if you don't have access to the fresh kaffir lime leaves, you can actually in the, I think it's the Indian spice kind of aisle, you can actually buy shredded up kaffir lime leaves and they're in liquid, but obviously the real thing does not compete. And apparently you can buy frozen kaffir lime leaves as well. So we've got that all beautifully. Oh wow, I wish you could smell this, but sadly you cannot. Okay, so we've got that going. Now we're going to pop in our chicken. Chicken thigh is just such a great meat in a dish like this. Then we're going to pop in our sweet potato, so all diced as we said. And then we're going to pop in our coconut cream. You can use coconut milk if you like. I just like the coconut cream. It just gives it that whole extra level of creaminess. So you can see what I mean. If you think sort of as we go through the cooking process that you need to add some liquid, just add a little bit of water. Not too much, but just see though. Don't do it unless you really have to. We did a tbsp show the other day and poor Pete, the whole tin was just rock hard because he was cooking in the studio because I have to do everything via Skype in my kitchen. So yeah, so it was quite funny. But anyway, we just added just a little bit of liquid and it all worked out, so it's fine. I'll leave the pan there in case I need to use that to add some water. But we should be fine. I'm just going to give that a tiny little bit of a stir just to get all of that coconut cream, because it is so creamy, through there as well. So let's do that. I need to leave myself a bowl, a plate. Okay, so now we're going to pop the lid on that. We're going to pop the cap back on that as well. Oh, the smell is amazing. I hope you're enjoying that. Okay, so I'm then going to go, I'm going to see if I can do this without looking, okay? So I'm going to go, no, stay where I am, and I'm going to up to 10 minutes. And I'm not getting any help from my camera person at all to make sure that I get this right. Okay, 10 minutes. Did I get it? Then we're going to go to speed, and I'm going to drop it down to 2A, okay? Because I just, 1A, because I just want it to stir every couple of minutes. It's going to stir for about 10 seconds, okay? I don't want to constantly stir it. It doesn't need to do that. 1A means that it's basically like if you were cooking yourself in a saucepan and you stirred it every now and then. And then we're going to go across, and I'm going to leave it at 110. Okay, are we good? Look, see, you can do it without looking. And go. So that's just going to give that all a little stir. Look at all that coming together. Come and have a look. Oh, you just missed it. But come and have a look anyway, because you can see already how that's just stirred everything through and got that coconut cream down the bottom. And I honestly think that it's going to be liquidy enough, because like I said last time when I did a test for this one, I didn't have to worry about the not being enough liquid. Now, I'm going, put your kaffir lime leaves in as well. So, see, that's why we've got a cap at the top. Just pop those in and they'll stir in a minute. And I'm going to leave my beans and my lime juice till the end. Till the last 5 minutes. So, just all confused now. The beans will go in the last 5 minutes. So, we're going to let this go for 10. I'm going to add the beans and let it go for another 5. At the end, we're going to add our lime juice. And I've also got, if you wanted to add spinach, I've got spinach here that we can add as well. So, once that goes, we'll get that going. So, a really clever thing that we just learnt, well, some of us just learnt, I don't know, some of you, I want to actually know if you knew this tip. So, you know how much I love giving hints and tips and tricks, same as Rosie. And hello Rose, because Rose is there doing our comments at the moment. So, ask questions, tell us what it is that you want to see, tell us what other recipes you want us to do. There's a billion things out there. Let us know what you want, and we'll do everything we can to help you. So, Rose and I do spend a lot of time, looking for new recipes and putting together new recipes and doing all that stuff because we love it, and it gives us some, things to do, especially at the moment when we're all at home looking for new things, and we've got new things. So, my tip. Now, I'm actually going to turn the food pro sideways, and I'll get you to come in a minute. So, have you ever found that when sometimes you use the food processor, when you're using, you've got, your top in like this, if you put in 2 carrots together, everything stays quite stable and everything chops absolutely beautifully. But if you just put 1 piece of carrot in there and you put it in the centre or to the right side or just not quite right, it tends to chop and then fall sideways. So it used to drive me insane. I was like, why does that happen? So we've worked out why. So what happens is, when your blade is going anti-clockwise. So what it means is if you're looking at your machine, you need to put whatever vegetable is, if you're just doing like 1 carrot, or even if it's 2, keep it to the left. So when you're looking at your food processor, because obviously you'd be looking at it the other way, keep everything to the left, and I'll show you. I'll give you an example of both ways. So let's get out, what's this one? Our 2mm blade. I'm telling you, it's a complete life changer. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in there. And you all need to be using your food processors. And I owned a food processor years ago. I ended up giving it to my mum because I was just like, I'm never going to use it. Now I'm like, all those things I missed out on for all those years, but it clearly wasn't a Magimix because I never would have given it away if it was. So it's something that you need to make sure you're using, and you've got it, it comes with your machine. You should be using it, and it's absolutely amazing. Okay, so that's still going along there. Okay, so, are you ready? Let me do it the wrong way first. So I'm going to stick a piece of carrot to the right. So can you see, if we come in, can you see, yeah, my cameraman's going yes, no, okay. I want to show you what happens when I leave it on the right side. It's really confusing. Okay, so watch how that carrot will start to turn on me. Are you ready? Alright, so I've got time on that. Okay, what's it doing? Are we on food processor? Okay. So, did you see how, when we look at the carrot, I want to show you how not all of them were actually perfectly round, because my carrot slid to the side. Now watch this. You know what, you might not care if your carrots aren't perfectly round, but it really bothers me. Okay, so I'm going to put a carrot in. This time, oh, do you know how many times I've done that? See, anyone can do my job. This time, I'm going to put the blade back in. I'm going to put the piece of carrot to what would be my left if I was looking at it, okay? So you're always going to be looking at your machine when you're cooking it. Okay, are you ready? So then watch, especially how it falls, what happens now. Seriously, I'm just having one of those days. Let me do it with the cucumber. I just knocked it and it went the wrong way. Okay, so we're going to go with the cucumber. So that was a really good example. Not. Maybe I've, hang on, see, let me just turn this and make sure I've got it right. Okay, we're going anti-clockwise, so, oh, see, now I'm confusing myself. Once I get it right, it's going anti-clockwise, so I must have to have it on my right. Okay, you're lucky I can laugh at myself. Okay, are you ready? Okay, I've got it this time. Are you ready? Oh my gosh, I'm going to hit something wrong again. Let me just turn this around. Okay, so the machine blade goes anti-clockwise. I'm so glad I decided to do this for you tonight. Let's just say it's been a really big day. Okay, so now, are you watching the cucumber? So let me turn it around so you can see it better this way. So if you're looking at the machine, it's on your right because your blade goes anti-clockwise. Now look at the differences, the way it falls. I finally got it. Okay, I hate doing things backwards, and clearly you've just all worked out why. But let me show you the difference. When you now look at these, every single piece of your cucumber is perfectly round, as opposed to what happened with our carrot when we had it on the wrong side. So when you're looking at your machine, set your piece of vegetable to your right, okay? And then, because it's going to go then anti-clockwise, it's going to make sure that that piece of vegetable is pushed up against the side, and it's going to give you that beautiful, I know, seriously. Can you look? How did I get this job? Okay. I do have other unique qualities, you know? Okay. So we've got that going. So how long have we got here with our... Okay, so I've only got 3 minutes to go, so then I'm going to add the beans in. But now that you know my trick, and you hopefully were impressed the 4th time that I actually got that in. But I want to know who else knew that. Did you all know that that's what you do? So to the right side, anti-clockwise direction of the blade, which means hopefully you were still impressed, even though it took me 4 times to get it right. Okay, so this is coming along beautifully. We're going to keep letting it go. We've got a couple of minutes to go on that. Again, I don't think that I need to add... Oh, the smell. I don't think I need to add any liquid at all. So I think that you should all be fine with that as well. And we'll let that keep going. Now, I am going to add my beans in and then run it for another 5. And then that 15 minutes should be enough. At the end, if you want to add some spinach leaves, absolutely add those. And also the lime. Don't forget the lime juice as well. And we'll get those in just a couple of minutes. And then I'm going to show you a couple of our cookbooks that I don't know, I'm not sure which ones Rosie showed you, but I've got some simple plates and also our food processor, which is our newest cookbook, and I've been doing a lot of recipes out of this one lately, so I want to show you what I've done. I should have put them out on display for you. I just did the naan bread. It's got yogurt and the flour and a bit of sugar, and it was really good. Even my children ate it. It was great. So naan bread would have been perfect to go with your green chicken curry. So remember that for next time. Okay, so we mustn't have long to go. A minute maybe. I'm just guessing. Okay, So we'll go through those cookbooks in just a minute. But we'd love your feedback. Obviously not your feedback on my demonstration of how to slice a carrot or a cucumber properly. Probably don't need your feedback on that. Unless you're excited when I finally got it right, then I would love to hear that you loved that. But yeah, so it's just a little tip that you need. But use your food processor. So one of the other things I do a lot of is like this household staples, okay? So staples meaning your mayonnaise. Mayonnaise is one of the easiest things to make, and it's also in our cookbook that you get with your Cook Expert, and it's also on the app. So if you're looking at the Magimix app as well, it's on there as well. But mayonnaise is one of the most simple things to make that I think for years I would have thought that it was not something easy. You have to stand there stirring, etc. It's super, super easy. Another one that I like to do is my own peanut butter. But my tip, if you do your own peanut butter, it's just, you can do any butter, cashews, almonds, you know, all those sorts of nut butters are quite expensive in the health food aisles. But if you're going to do peanut butter, just buy unsalted nuts and then just add salt as you want it. Because I did do it the other day with salted nuts and I found that it was just a little bit too salty. So had I just added the salt myself, I think it would have been a little bit better. So just a tip with that. So now we're just going to add our beans. Can you come and have a look at this? Because honestly, it is smelling amazing. So you can see that. It is amazing. So I'm just going to add in my beans. Let's give that a little scrape down. And we're just going to add another 5 minutes to that. And I'm happy that my chicken is coming along quite well and my sweet potato. Again, depending on the size that you chopped everything would depend if when I leave you, you need to go for a little bit longer. So if you need to go longer, same temperature, just add your minutes yourself, same speed with the 1A. That's all you need to do. Okay, so now I'm going to go, let's see if I can do this again, and I'm going to go 5 minutes. Right, and I'm just going to make sure that I'm still on 1A, and I'm still on 110 degrees, and we'll get going from there. See? What can I say? It's super easy, even backwards. Okay, so we'll let that keep cooking before we add the next one as well. Even the cameraman's like, this smells amazing. Okay, camera woman, I should say. So I just get rid of these things and I'll give you a little flick through the book. We can get our rice ready. So I just did some basmati rice, so you could do this on zucchini, like your zoodles if you wanted to. You could do it on anything. So I'm just going to do it on some basmati rice, which I've cooked up. So let's get this wiped down, and then you can come in and we'll have a look at some of the amazing things in this cookbook. Okay, so this is our newest cookbook. So Rose and I launched this to everybody earlier in the year, might have been around February for memory. And it is our best bakery book. Now it is designed for the food processor, but I have done a lot of these recipes also by using the stainless steel bowl. So for example, when I did, if you want to come in and have a look, I'll just find the page for you. But I did the other day, the beautiful naan bread here. And I actually did it by using the bread and brioche mode in the Cook Expert with our stainless steel bowl. So, you know, if you want to use it, do it that way, absolutely. So some of the recipes you totally can. I think the thing with a food processor is it just shows you that you don't need to own like a stand mixer or anything like that, that you can still do all those things in there as well. I know that Rose does use her food processor more for these things than I would, because she's really into the baking and she's better at that sort of stuff than I am. I just like to cook. But there's some beautiful recipes in there and some beautiful ones that I'll show you that I've already done. So I have done the cheese crackers. What I find with those is they're amazing on the day because it's the cheese in them. Actually haven't tried storing them in the fridge. When I store rice crackers and things in the fridge, so I actually next time will try storing them in the fridge. The breadsticks are absolutely amazing as well. So another really simple one, and things that you can get the kids involved in as well, because they didn't last till the next day here because they all just got eaten and they absolutely loved them. You know, the Parmesan shortbread, so simple things and easy things. People are going to think you're amazing when you do things like this. Savoury cookies, so it's got olives and things in there, rosemary. We've got some beautiful recipes here. Chorizo muffins, ham and green olive muffins, sun-dried tomato and mozzarella muffins, black olive and feta muffins. Don't they all just make you hungry, as well as the smell of our dinner that's coming. So we've got some really great things. We go into breads. When you're doing things like your breads, you know, seeded breads, if you're doing it in the Cook Expert and you're using the brioche bread mode, my tip is in the first minute, don't add the seeds. In the second minute, so the machine stops after 1 minute. For the second minute, you can then add your seeds through the top. So if you want to add seeds and things as it's kneading through the dough. But we've got some beautiful multi-grain bread, some wholemeal bread. I'd love to know anyone that's already got this book and what you're actually doing and what you've done with it. One thing that I really want to try is, I think it's in here, it's crumpets. I really want to try that. English muffins as well. So you've got your pita bread. The other thing I find with the naan bread, if it doesn't all get eaten on the day, pop it in the freezer while it's fresh. It'll defrost beautifully when you're ready for it. It's the sort of thing that it's going to be eaten on the day and be amazing, but that's the one I did, which was superb. Okay, so we also go into our doughs and getting things ready. So you've got your pastries, so your perfect pastry crusts, your shortbread crusts, pizza dough. I love doing pizza dough in the machine. And so with the pizza dough, if you've never done it in the Cook Expert, you can actually prove your bread in here. So 33 degrees, no speed for an hour, and you'll get an amazing result with proving your bread in the machine as well. Okay, so let's get into some sweets, because I know you want to see the sweets, because we all do. Okay, I have tried the cheesecake. It was a winner. The first time I did it though, I forgot to read the part that you had to bake it. It was just one you put in the fridge. Anyway, we've also got some beautiful pastry custards, some creamy mousse, almond cream, whipped cream. This is the really amazing thing about Magimix, is all of this is fat free because our machine just throws it out of the top of the machine as the blade spins. It's true. Okay, we've also got our chocolate brownies are amazing, chocolate cakes. There's so many things in this book. I really recommend this book. Oh, that was good timing. Paul Cameron's getting sore arms. But I really recommend, if you're going to purchase a cookbook for these machines, this is an amazing one. So I'm pretty sure it's on our website or at your favourite kitchen store. I think they have them as well. Okay, so are we ready? Are we coming to look? Okay, look at that. So this is actually a little bit greener than the last time I cooked it, but it just depends on, I guess, how big the bunch of coriander is. So if yours isn't quite as green as this, don't be worried about it, it's just the coriander. Because my bunch of coriander was quite a large bunch of coriander. Okay, so I just need to test now if that sweet potato is going to be cooked. And I hate to eat in front of you all, but I'm going to have to. Okay. Okay, it's not quite cooked, so let's just pop it on for another few minutes. And this is the beauty of it, like I said, depending on the size of how much you chopped it, we'll just put that on for another 5. Right. Okay. Beautiful. So back to 2A, another 5 minutes. We'll get ready to pop in. Okay, are we on 1A? Yep, 110 degrees. Sorry, I'm just checking. Okay, beautiful. And another one that I'll show you is our Simple Plates book. So Simple Plates is obviously designed for our Cook Expert. Okay, so let's go. What I love about these cookbooks is that they give you everything so simple. So you've got your ingredients, and then you've got a picture of them as well. And then it also gives you then your steps, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's always tips and things there as well. So that's our savoury bread. We've got a short crust pastry recipe. Oh, these are really yummy. So the ham and fig tarts. So there's lots of things in here, sweet and savoury. So that one's a really good one too, the asparagus quiche. But just a few to sort of show you. There's a Thai green curry in there. The chicken curry with basil is really nice as well. We've got our chicken minced beef curry. So there's some really good recipes in there. Prawn and mango curry, that's a really good summer one. We've also got our monkfish curry, so there's lots of things, whether it's fish, chicken, beef, lots of things in there. Salmon as well, the tikka masala with the salmon. I'm probably making you all hungry because you've got the smell of that and you've got the look of this and all of those things. So we've got our scallops in there. There's just some really beautiful, beautiful meals. So we go into meat, so you've got your filet mignon. What else have we got in there? Oh, veal stew. The beef bourguignon in the big cookbook is amazing, so you need to try that. We've got our lamb. So lots of things and lots of ideas in here. Beans with chorizo, which is really good. The chicken, boiled chicken. I actually steamed chicken breast in here the other day, so if you want to put down the camera, it's okay now. We'll give her arms a rest. But I did a really yummy steamed chicken the other day. A lot of people don't like to steam chicken because they think it gets a little bit dry, but I think it all depends on, you know, how long you're putting it on for, what you're doing with it, etc. So I did one the other day, and I just did some lemon rind, some chilli flakes, some garlic and some salt and pepper and some fresh thyme, and I just rubbed it into the chicken breast, and then I just popped them into the steamer. So I just had 2 nice sized chicken breasts in there, popped them into the steamer, and they steamed in about 15 minutes. So depending on obviously how thick or large the breast is, you're just using the steamer that comes with your Cook Expert. It's a really simple, easy way to be able to do some really healthy steamed chicken, and it was amazing. So the taste through it, everything. If you do it with the garlic and everything, you know, a couple of hours prior, you'll get even more flavour through there, of course. So, you know, try it. It is amazing. You will love it. Okay, so I'm going to serve up some rice because we must be close to being ready. I'll just pop my coriander aside, and we'll pop out some rice. So please let us know if there's a recipe in particular you want to see done. You know, we have done some vegetarian as well. There's lots of things we've done. One of the things that still gets done in this house all the time is the shredded chicken taco burgers. So if you haven't done or you haven't seen us do those, it was just steamed chicken, and then the chicken was shredded back into the machine after we emptied the water with some taco seasoning. And then with the Food Pro, I did a coleslaw just with some carrot, green and red cabbage, and then made our own homemade mayo. It's the one thing in this house that my children can cook by themselves and will happily do every day if I let them. So my oldest will say, "Oh, I'm going to cook dinner tonight," and I'm like, "Not taco, shredded chicken burgers again," and that's generally what it ends up being. But you know what? When you've got someone that wants to cook for you, just let them do it, I guess. As long as they clean up after. Okay, so we must be awfully close. And that's going to be 20 minutes. So that should be, so you can see what I mean. I mean, if the sweet potato was a lot bigger, you'd be waiting a lot longer. But you know, as the more it cooks, the more those flavours are all coming together as well. So it's not a problem at all anyway. How long have we got there? Down to the final seconds. Okay. So don't forget, have your lime juice ready. And your spinach. If the people like to add that sort of teaspoon of sugar as well to take out that little bit of tang, but I quite like it without it, but it's an option for you as well. Okay, are you ready? Oh yes, the smell. I'm definitely happy that we are good to go. Okay. So, let's add in that lime juice. Let's give that a little bit of a stir. This is a lot greener than I did the other day, but like I said, I had a huge bunch of coriander. Oh my gosh, the lime juice just gives it a whole other level. And then if you want to, you can stir through some spinach. And I'll just stir that in. Spinach just wilts so quickly and so easily. I just need to push that in. Oh, who's coming over for dinner? Okay. So let's come in and have a look at that. All stirred up in there. In we come. So you can see now everything is in there beautifully. And I'm going to serve that up. Actually, the picture that is on the invitation was the one I did in my test. So you can see that one in there. A little bit of juice on there. Voila. A little bit of coriander. We're in my house, lots of coriander. And we have a beautiful green chicken curry. I would love to know what you all think of it. It is absolutely so full of flavour and so amazing. But thank you for joining us again. We'll see you in just a couple of weeks with Rosie. Not sure what she's going to do yet, but if you've got some ideas, by all means, you're welcome to share those with us. So I do have a question for you. It's a funny one, actually. When you're looking at your machine and you're using your food processor, which side do you put your piece of vegetable in? The left or the right? Come on, you have to get this right, because seriously, right? You have to get it right. Okay, yep, we're all going to get that one right. Okay, beautiful. So thank you for joining us again. Thank you for bearing with me in my really great demonstration of the food processor. It was cracking. And I hope you enjoy your chicken curry, because I know I'm about to, because it smells amazing. Thanks for having us.